Let's kick it off. Let's get the bugs are bad on the line. One, two, calling. Hello, sir. Hello, hello.
Hello? Hey!
Yes, there he is.
What's up, dude?
What's up? Welcome. Thank you for doing this in such short notice. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you for inviting me.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Living, breathing, have a pulse.
Yeah, it was kind of, well, like I say, very short notice. We connected yesterday on Twitter. I saw one of your posts and we kind of went back and forth. I saw a couple of your videos and I thought, we could have a very cool conversation because in some respects, we're in a similar journey, I guess, when it comes to content creation and the things we're trying to achieve when it comes to building a community and getting the right people to gravitate to our content and all of that. Lucitan, welcome back. How's it going, guys? So feel free to post questions in chat, guys. We might not get to everything to not derail the conversation too much, but we appreciate any and all questions. So, okay, let's get into it straight away with the most recent video that I saw from you today. You talk about this idea of, I think you call it a multi-content creator. Do you want to maybe correct me there? What's the exact term you use for it, and what's your description of that?
Well, the term that I used was multi-creative.
Right.
It's because the way that I look at it is there's some people like me, yourself, I know there's a bunch of other people out there that see all these people telling you to niche down, like stick to one thing. You're only going to make it if you stick to one thing and focus on that one thing and be the authority. And it's like, that's not what life's about. It's not what life's about at all. Like, you're supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to love what you do. And I think people should be able to express themselves and not feel bad about expressing themselves the way that they do it.
Yeah. And Ruby asks, what's the name of your cat? This is very relevant. And
that's Nala.
Sorry, what? Nala?
Nala, like from
Nala.
The Lion King.
Oh, yeah. Nice. And you said she's 19 years old, right?
No, this one, the other one's 19, but this one, she's like 10.
Okay. And what's the other's name?
The other one's Sketcher.
Okay. Good. And my cat is called Basil. We'll have him on to say hi later. Maybe they can, they can hook up or something. Yeah.
So you never know.
So that was interesting to me what you said, because in some ways you do have to niche down and find like a consistent type of video that you're going to be providing, because people, they don't really like subscribing to your channel, and then they expect a certain kind of video based on the last one you've done, but then the next one maybe is completely different. So maybe I might do a talking head video talking about mindset, and then the next one might be a song that I composed. And for a lot of people, that's a turnoff. And I've always found it very difficult to balance the two things. Having consistent content to grow the channel, but at the same time, allowing myself to be creative in all of the ways that I want to be. So how do you think about that? What sort of balance are you trying to strike in your own channel there?
Well, this is what made me come up with that whole, like, it's, to me, that's a complete brand shift, and I know I'm turning off half my community by doing what I'm doing right now. But at the same time, if those half those people expected me to just sit here and play League of Legends, or sit here and play Ark, sit here and play whatever game, and that's all I'm gonna do, and that's all I'm valuable for, then I don't see the point in it. I love games, but that's not all I want to be.
Right. I think in some ways, you and I guess we want to be more than just that guy playing that particular game or doing that particular thing. I think in some ways we almost have some kind of message we want to impart on people and impact people in a certain way. And we have like different ways in which we do it, right? Like it could be music, it could be games, or just talking about different things, and mindset, which we'll talk about as well. And I think that's difficult, man, because in some ways the entry barrier for that is already very high, right? Because there are very like top people already doing that kind of stuff. So let me just post your link here. People can find Bugs Are Bad on Twitter via that link, and there will be a link in the YouTube video as well. And then from there, you can see all of his stuff on YouTube too. So to be honest, this is still a work in progress for me in terms of, how much do I want to niche down, or how much am I okay with compromising. But this year, I've started being way more critical about what I was doing wrong on YouTube, and really trying to analyze things like, my description, and things like the metagame of YouTube with the SEO and how to reach people and stuff
So
like that. And I
you've
think,
watched Devin Nash
yeah, yeah,
and Alpha Gaming.
Alpha Gaming, yeah.
Yeah, and
Good
that's
stuff.
that's the thing is like they got great advice. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the other thing is like if you because I watch Gary Vee as well, and I see a lot of what they say is the same thing that Gary Vee's saying, but at the same time, Gary Vee doesn't tell you, hey, you know what I mean? No, stick to this. He tells you just do what feels right. Like do what
Yeah.
you love. Like it's you only have so much time on this planet. Just do it. And that's the thing is like I've been streaming on Twitch for 4.5 years, and it all started to build a community. At one point, I
Yeah.
wasn't able to walk really because I had nerve damage that took a couple years to actually figure out it was nerve damage, and we didn't know that I was. They told me it wasn't going to heal, but it did. So I mean, I had a flare up this morning, but I'm walking around, so I don't complain about that.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, there was a point where I was averaging over 30 viewers playing League of Legends. There was a point where I was averaging over 30 viewers playing H1Z1, point where I was averaging over 50 viewers playing Arc. And then when I decided to just kind of do what I wanted because I went through a whole bunch of other drama, it became a realization that because I don't play that game, I serve no purpose to you anymore. And that's not
Right.
the whole reason I was there. I wanted the community. I liked having all these people that had common interests. But now when I think about it, all of these people that are still around, they're talented, they're creative, they have ideas, but they're all scared to share it. So share it. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do is enforce that you need to just don't worry about what everybody thinks about it. Like
Right.
it's up to you. If you think this is worth it, does it make you happy? Yes, then keep going.
Yeah.
But between YouTube, Twitch, making music, and then trying to be active and networking and whatnot, I'm not trying to force networking with people that I'm not gonna, relate well with. And that's why when we talked, I was like, I looked at your video and the way that you look at the whole like mindset of you should just be happy and don't even worry about that,
Yeah.
like the whole perspective of what
External
everybody else is.
validation.
Yeah, like don't worry about that. As long as you're happy, just keep going, and
Yeah.
one day something is going to click. Now yes, there's things you should research so you're not just mindlessly doing it. Like I
Yeah.
said to you, your production quality, but you can see this is night and day. You've got it down. Your production quality is beautiful. Like your
Thanks,
graphics are
man.
great,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
I don't have that, but I know that I need that. But that takes money.
Right.
But in order to make that money, I need to reinvest.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's
And it's a process, right? The
yeah,
last thing you want to do is just spend a bunch of money, and you know then you got the production down, but you don't have the rest of it. So I think it's a journey, and you really don't need top production to reach people in a powerful way. We see a lot of channels on YouTube that are doing very well, and they're using like a normal webcam, and so
yeah,
that, I mean, that's added value if you can get to it. I mean, that's great, and some people are really excited by that, like I am. It's one of the things, I want to pursue that kind of top kind of production
yeah.
quality. So
I'm the
that's a part
same
of
way.
it for me. But I think what you said there is so key, man. The fact that you really don't want to cater to everybody, in the sense that you're looking for a particular type of person, I think. to add to your audience. I think you're looking for someone that is able to appreciate that variety and that, you know, multiple perspectives that you bring as someone who's a musician, and you know, you have like multiple hats you can put on, right? And I think that all of the people that you put off, maybe all the people that just wanted to see League of Legends and left, I think you're not worst off, basically. Even though maybe numbers wise you might have
Exactly.
suffered, right? I think numbers is a tricky thing because there can be a massive difference between each viewer. So, you know, in my channel, I'm very lucky to have really like valuable viewers in the channel. Like these people kind of engage, and when we have conversations, they ask good questions, and um, you know, we have a really cool community there in the Discord and good conversations, and people appreciate depth, which is really cool as well. So getting to those people for me is more valuable than getting to, you know, maybe 10x more people in terms of volume. So I think to some extent we have to balance our metrics and understand that it's not just absolute growth that matters, is growing in a way that is in line with your vision for what you want to build, right? And I think I want to build a community of people that do have appreciation for these, you know, kind of deeper conversations, and maybe a deeper message that transcends whatever game I'm playing as well, or if I'm playing music. And so that's why I wanted to get you on, because I thought we were kind of on the same boat with regards to that.
Definitely.
But okay, so let's talk strategy then. What is your prime? Are you doing Twitch currently? Because I only checked out your YouTube channel.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like I said, when I started, it was all about me making the best of what I had available. And over time, people helped me. And it was, like I said, I've been streaming for 4.5 years.
Right.
And that's the one thing I just always stayed consistent with it. But back then, I was doing like 140 hours a week.
Whoa.
And that's like insane. But I had no other obligations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but eventually over time, a whole bunch of stuff happened. I got more mobility, and it kept getting better and better. And eventually I moved back to my hometown, and I felt more comfortable with where I was at. If I fail, I have some fallbacks. And I just pushed myself to the absolute limit. And I started working a normal job again. And after about a year and 2, 3 months, I was getting driven nuts by, yeah, I'm making decent money working this job, but I don't care about the money. I want to be happy.
Yeah.
And I don't feel happy if I'm spending 40 hours working, 10 hours commuting, and then I only have so much time to stream. I only have so much time to produce a YouTube video, only so much time to work with music. And then I started like falling for somebody, you know what I mean? How am I supposed to juggle all this?
Right. Right.
And I said, screw it. I quit my job, dude. I literally just quit my job. I just one day said, screw it. I was one of the most reliable people that they had. I said, nope, no more. You're not going to walk on me anymore. I'm gonna be happy. And it's been 3 months now. I now do Uber Eats.
Whoa.
I can make my own
Interesting.
hours.
Okay.
Like if I need money for rent, I just go drive around for 12 hours and make a couple $100. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So I found something that works for me because I refuse to just lay down and take it. I'm not going to be just part of that repetitious cycle. I don't
Just
want to be a part of
the
that.
work to live machine, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kudos to you, man. That's and I'm glad it's working out. I have sympathy for the walking stuff. I also have some difficulties walking. I can get around, but I walk with a walking stick, you
Damn.
know. So that stuff can be very rough. I'm glad
We have a
you
lot
you know,
more
you're
in
kind of
common than we thought.
recovered. Yeah, it's crazy, and you know, that's the beauty of the internet. It's kind of connecting with people that you have a lot in common with. So um
And that was actually going back to strategy. I deleted my Facebook so I could
okay.
work on my Twitter more, and
Yeah.
I could work on Instagram and Snapchat more, so I could actually network with people who cared. Because I go on Facebook, you deal with the people that you knew in high school that don't really. That sometimes I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they're coming to me for advice because they know I have a decent mindset, and then I ask how they're doing. They tell me everything. I'm like, okay, do you just need to vent, or would you like my input? They're like,
Right.
well, give me your input. I give them my input, and they're like, thanks, I'm going to bed. Have a good night. And it's like, you're gonna ask me what I'm up to? Like, I mean, I don't want to sound selfish, but I haven't talked to you in 10 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm busy. I'm very busy. I'm dedicated.
Right.
I'm
Right.
committed. Like, and you can see it on my Facebook. But when's the last time you've ever actually just stopped and took a look? And I've started, like, in the last month, I deleted my Facebook, started working on Twitter, and look, here we are.
Yeah. I think Twitter is a much more powerful tool to connect with
Absolutely
people in
agree.
in a meaningful way. And also, the Swamp Donkey, welcome in, man. Howland says he drives for Uber as well and quit his job. We talked
Howdy,
about it in
dude.
the Discord. Yeah, good. I mean, good luck, man. I know you're job hunting. Let us know how it goes. And yes, Ruby, Facebook is awkward, and not only that, it's what you said is so. It's funny, man. It's like very similar to my experience. The people I have on Facebook were like, just prior family, not I. How do you say this? Like relatives that I'm not in touch with, right? And then people from high school, as you said, and people that I just really have nothing in common with, apart from having shared, some past, I guess, with them. And so I've really stopped putting any energy at all
It's also a
in
political
Facebook.
dumpster fire.
It is, yeah, it is, and you're getting these kind of news for clicks kind of thing that just pops all the
Exactly.
time.
That's all it is.
And Twitter, you do have to curate. You need to make sure you're following the people that that are interesting to you. But it, if you do that, I think you can get to know a lot of people. We've here in the channel, we've got to connect with a lot of people that we wouldn't have otherwise, like yourself. So you know
Yeah, no,
that's
it's amazing. I love Twitter.
so okay. So you got Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. What's your schedule on Twitch currently?
My Twitch schedule, honestly, I announced one, and then somebody asked, or two people asked me, "Are you going to stream RimWorld today or not?" And I was like, you know what? No, no, because I don't want to just be here for that one game every day, like
Yeah,
every Thursday. Like, if I want to play RimWorld, I'll tell you we're gonna play RimWorld on this day.
right, right.
I
Yeah.
don't, I don't want to just commit myself to this constant. Because what happens when RimWorld dies? I die, and
Yeah,
then I'm
yeah.
back to zero, and
Yeah,
here we go again.
this is the problem when streamers have they're so coupled to a particular game that they depend on the game, right? So you see streamers with their graphics on stream are maybe from Fortnite or something. Not that I watch that, but and then if they stop doing that, all of a sudden they need to revamp all of their identity basically because it's linked to that. So definitely, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I know it might be easier to get like more people to follow you, like you say, if you do serve a very narrow band, right? If you're a dedicated Dark Souls player, you might be able to get a good number of people to come every time. But then
Absolutely.
again, are you reaching the people that you're interested in? You know, yeah,
Yeah, like,
it's difficult, but I think to some extent we need to be picky with our viewers as well. Like
yeah, and it sounds selfish, but I mean, at the same time, like, you gotta protect your sanity. Because when you're
yeah,
just trying to mediate stupid, like, if you're always siding with this one person and this one person's always causing trouble, you're the trouble, dude. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be your friend, both of your friends, just because I don't want to break my community. No, dude, you're trouble. Fuck off. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Okay, good. So you also have a Discord, right? You run a Discord,
Yeah, I run a Discord. I used to run a Discord that had over 1,000 people when I ran 5 ARC servers,
right?
and that's the thing. That was the biggest realization, because I ran 5 ARC servers. 3 of them were top 100 in the world for months,
Whoa,
and they were PvP. They were noob friendly. I served a niche. I served a niche in that aspect.
right.
I was teaching people how to play ARC in the PvP world without getting completely face rolled the first day they jumped on my server. It took months of building. It was not an overnight thing, but that was how people knew me. And the day that I took the servers down, I nearly started to stop existing. And I gave everybody the heads up, like, hey, I can't handle this anymore. I mentally cannot handle this anymore. There's hundreds of you. It's just chaos. I'm losing moderators. Nobody wants to deal with it anymore. I
Yeah.
can't do this anymore. And then just
I,
like that,
I,
they're
I
gone.
think you've hit on something really key there, and it's that you really need to, providing value is a part of it, and it's really important, right? Like we're biologically set up to get a kick out of providing value for people, which is probably why you started doing that stuff, because you wanted to be valuable for people. But at some level, we also need to get something back. And this is not selfish, right? This is like healthy, like a healthy dynamic. You're putting all this effort in, you're giving this value to people. You need to, in some sense, get it back. And it sounds like maybe you weren't, like when you were doing that, all of that work for the
I was making
servers. Yeah.
such good money then, but the money didn't matter.
Okay, interesting.
The money did not matter. They moved me across the country.
Whoa.
And I
Yeah,
mean,
cool.
like, months later, like, because I was running it with my fiance at the time, and from the beginning, she was there. And then we broke up, and then it just did all just like this. It toppled down. And I mean, I don't hold it against her. Like, it's cool. We broke up.
Right, right.
We're both still on good terms. But at the same time, like, it's something that I realized is that I had a girl on my stream. Now I don't. And you can see the numbers just like that. And I'm like,
Interesting.
well, so what were these viewers here for?
Yeah.
Were they actually here for my ARC songs that I've come up with, or were they here for the server that I ran, or were they here for the girl? Like, there's just it became a self doubt thing, and like I said, I got a girlfriend now, and she's great. I love her, but it's I don't want to just force her into my content or make her a constant part of my content because
Yeah.
I am terrified of what could happen in the future.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I have a lot of female friends that also stream, and some of them that want to stream but don't, because there's this common theme. They say that they would never know if streamers are there for her being a girl or for her, value as a content creator, I guess.
It's
And
sad.
that's sad. I mean, I think a lot of people assume that because someone is good looking, like, maybe
It
for a girl
helps.
that's very beautiful or
Definitely
something,
helps, male
that
or female.
that can help for sure. But it can also be difficult in some ways. Like I just said there, you might never be sure if people are there because of your looks, or right, or because of your content. And I have some people I actually have one friend that's a female Twitch streamer, a partner, and she has this, because when I did the imposter syndrome video, she reached out and said, yeah, actually I feel this, because a lot of times I think that I wouldn't have gotten where I am if it wasn't for my looks. And I thought that was fucking sad, because she's great. She's a great streamer. I don't want to give out her name because it was in confidence, but
Yeah, no, I understand.
but that was sad to me that we're in this place where to some extent people do come to your stream based on things like that, and there's nothing you can do to avoid it, right? I guess.
Yeah, it's the natural mindset. Like,
uh,
sex sells. It's been like
on
that
the
for
Yeah,
hundreds of
and
years.
I mean, on the flip side, if you're someone like myself, I don't have a great hairstyle that that attracts
I
people,
shaved my head for the
right?
same
Yeah,
reason, dude.
so so I'm pretty sure that people aren't here for my looks, which is good in that sense. Although Ruby says she's here for my looks, I don't know if that's true.
See, that's the thing, man. Like, sometimes you'll feel like you look like shit. You come on and somebody's like, "Wow, dude, you're looking spicy today." And I'm like, "Wow, all right." Like,
Right,
thanks.
right. So either way, there's difficulties in both camps, right? Whether you look a certain way or you don't, but uh, some of it is really being very deliberate about who you're targeting as an audience, and understanding that if you are going for an audience that's a bit, more specific, like in our case, maybe we want people that are willing to engage and have the attention span and the appreciation for a wider variety of content. uh, the numbers are going to be smaller, right? When just the raw numbers in terms of sheer
At,
views and stuff.
at least starting
Yeah.
out, I think.
At least starting out, right? Like, establishing your brand and establishing
Exactly.
yourself is going to be more difficult, and it's going to take a lot more time. Like we talked about it. You said you've been at it for 4 years. Is that how long
Four
you've?
and a half, yeah.
4.5 years. I've been making YouTube videos for 2 years. I have like 1,000 videos uploaded, and you know, it takes time, man. But I'm very happy with the growth I've had. So this year I've been streaming on Twitch for like 1 year and a half or so, and there's a really good group of people that show up and engage and stuff. So I wouldn't trade my usual, 10, 20 viewers that really kind of engage and are there uh, for what I can offer there in terms of variety and depth and stuff, versus maybe 50 people that would only come because of the game I'm playing. So
That's another thing is I talked about this with a friend of mine in the past is I don't want to be 100,000 viewer streamer. That is not my goal. Like if I were to be streaming, I want to have like the perfect world to be 500 to 1,000 viewers because I can still manage the chat with that. I can still talk to you. I can still have. I can see what you feel. You know what I mean. We can still personalize, and that's the purpose of streaming for me. I started streaming because somebody asked me to. They're like, "Oh, you're playing so many ranked games. Why don't you just stream them and I'll watch them, and then when you're done, we'll play." And that's what happened. And then eventually, because we already had a big group of people that played together, and we all knew each other, and then it just kind of grew itself up. You know what I mean? And then I was like, well, streaming is known to be like a money making platform. My girlfriend is paying all the bills. Let me at least try to provide some form of content
yeah.
because people were like, can I have a donate button? And then boom, I put a donate button, bam, $50 donation. I'm like, all right, wow, this is cool. And then somebody's like, I wish I could subscribe, but you're not a partner. Game Wisp, bam, there we go.
Boom.
That
Yeah.
first day, I'm 10 subs. You know what I'm saying? And that was exciting. It was huge to me. I'm like excited. And I was like, wow, we're doing something with this. I can help you with at least like the electric bill this month. And it was nice to be able to feel like I wasn't a strain to my girlfriend at the time. And it grew. It just kept growing. And anytime I'd be like, all right, this game's driving me nuts, boom, it'd be like this. We go down to like 2 to 3 average, and then a teeter totter back up after a couple months up to 30. And then I'm sick of this game or it's dead, boom. And it's a constant cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you,
But
man.
I'd rather have the people invest their time into what the community has to offer and to participate in that so they don't feel like they're just an outsider. I don't want people to feel like outsiders. I want people to feel like when they're submitting something or sharing something, because that's the thing. I want to start showcasing the work that my community does and show the different types of art that there is. Like I have so many channels in my Discord for that because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, art. No, there's drawing, there's sketching, and it's just different types of art. You can be a magician, that's
Yeah.
performing arts. You're a dancer, like even modders for games, like people who make mods, that's art. You make maps, that's art. Like I don't want people to feel like they're not being seen because a lot like you as a musician probably know you're working on something. Sometimes you show somebody a quick clip of what you're working on. You're like,
Right.
dude, look what I'm working on. You know what I mean? And people want to do that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's you know what I'm saying. So
This is
that's what I'm
so
trying
this
to
is so important, man. First off, Jet, let me return your fist bump. I appreciate it. I that's important because before I did any of this kind of video stuff, I created my own music for years and played in bands and stuff, and never really had a good outlet to share my music with other people on the internet. You put it out there, but it's very difficult to reach people, right? As unless you have some kind of outlet. So it's really important to me to also facilitate these connections. So whenever someone in my Discord or in my chat, they have something that they're proud of, that they're working on, I like you said, I do try to engage with that, look at it, maybe show it off for other people as well, so that maybe someone else sees that and connects with it. Maybe it speaks to them in a certain way. This is exactly the kind of thing that I want to do. Create this environment where we can facilitate connections between people that otherwise wouldn't find each other. I think this is really
exactly.
powerful. And then the other thing that connects with what you said is engaging with people, with what people say I see a lot of streamers just basically giving a half-ass answer to stuff, and a lot of times, people in my chat will come out with something deep that they're going through, or maybe post something that I can reflect on, and I really engage with that stuff. I don't give like a half-ass answer. I think it's important that I do put effort into giving my perspective and putting my
Come the
filter
same
on
way.
on that.
Even if it hurts me with 3 other people, as long as this one person feels closer, you know what I mean, closer to me, then that's exactly what I'm here for, is to build that connection. I don't want to just jump on Twitch and just do the same old crap. If you're talking to somebody, it becomes a completely different like stream every time because you're talking about different things. It's not just, oh, he's playing this game. It doesn't matter what game he's playing. We're going to have a good conversation.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what I want to focus on.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, no, that's the juice for me. It's getting
Same.
past that, it's establishing yourself and your filter on and your perception of things and your take on things, making that why people come back. And it takes time, right? I mean, like we said, uh, to establish yourself, it takes time. So, okay, let's talk about strategy a bit more then. So we said Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Twitch. Are you doing anything else on the side?
Currently, it's Discord, YouTube, Twitch, SoundCloud, Instagram, Patreon, and I feel like I'm missing something else. I'm everywhere, dude. Just like not Pinterest or Facebook.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
on Reddit too, man. Like I try anything I can to make sure that maybe even if I post this one post that makes me look like a complete tool, I might find one person that goes, "Wow, this tool is awesome." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And
And
that's
yeah.
what I'm looking for.
And Howland mentions the starfish. So he shared the story about. I'm gonna paraphrase. I'm not very good with remembering exact stories, but it was something like a grandfather and the granddaughter are walking on the beach, and there's a bunch of starfish that have been like stranded on the shore from the water and are like dying there basically. So then the granddaughter runs around trying to pick up the starfish and toss them back in the water, and the grandfather's like, well, why do you bother? You're not gonna save them all, right? And she says, I'm trying to remember, but it's something like, yeah, but I will save the ones that I get to, right? Or something like that. And I think it's a powerful idea that even if you might only reach maybe 20 people or maybe 50 people with your video on YouTube, but maybe from that you gain one person, right? That comes
Exactly.
over and is willing to engage in a deep way and come back and be a part of your community. And that one viewer is much more powerful towards building what you're trying to build than 5 people that are just gonna lurk because you're playing League of Legends or whatever it is.
Yeah, like I like lurkers. Like don't get me wrong, I love lurkers. I love the fact that somebody would turn on my stream before they
Yeah.
walk out and go about their day, or maybe just leave it running
Yeah.
while they're working. Because I do. That's the kind of viewer that I am. I'll participate if the chat starts to get something like, "Ooh, that's a good topic." Then yeah, I'll butt in. But sometimes I'm just like a hi, okay, exclamation lurk, and I'm there. I have you open. Your sound's on.
Yeah.
I'm producing music, or I'm sharing something on Twitter, or I'm just talking to people on Twitter,
Yeah.
or I'm posting something on Instagram, or posting something on Snapchat, talking in a call with 3 people on Discord. But I'm there. I'll try my best to support you. But the second that I hear a topic that's just like, ooh, that's good.
Right.
Hold on, guys, on Discord. And my focus is right there. And it's just, it seems that a lot of streamers these days, a lot of people are afraid to just really express themselves. So then it becomes like this, okay, I'm about to go past that limit. I can't do that. I can't say that because then I might lose 2 viewers. It's like, who cares? Just
Right.
wouldn't you rather people be here in 6 years because they know where you stand rather than be here for 6 more days because eventually the truth came out and you knew how you felt. They now know how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is, and thank you for the follow, Mose. I appreciate it. And what you said about lurkers is true. I think the way I phrased it could be like I don't appreciate lurkers, but I do. And this, in fact, the idea that someone can integrate my, like my show in their daily routine is amazing, right? The idea that someone might be cooking and just listening to me in the background because they like to listen to me, they like my take on things, or they appreciate my perspective. That's insane, right? That's really cool. I love that. And one big thing that I've worked on for, well, since the start is making my all my content compatible with just listening to it, so you don't have to necessarily see, even if I'm playing a game, you don't necessarily have to see it because I'm talking about it, I'm talking about other stuff as well, and you
That's
can
where I
just
slack.
absorb it as like a almost like a podcast talk show essentially, and trying to
Yeah, I've
have
always slacked on my
yeah
commentary, unless I'm talking crap about my enemy. But like 9 times out of 10, I'm just sitting here, just like click, 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 and I know it hurts me. I know it hurts me, but I feel like I'm forcing conversation. I just would rather somebody say something, or maybe I'll say something to kind of spike something up, but that it's just not there because I don't look at my viewer counts. So I
right
could have one viewer, and I'm just sitting there talking to myself, and that was the thing, is like right now I'm going through a full thing of struggling for retention. And it's like I know I have a good mind, I know I have great intentions, I know I have a lot to offer, I'm just not executing it correctly. And I've
right
been looking for like a year and a half, how am I supposed to brand myself? I've been the bugs are bad for 22 years. 22 years I've had the same friggin' username since I was 8 years old. And what's it mean? I don't even know what it means, but I can't
right
leave it. It's just a constant. And that's the kind of person I am. I'm the same person you knew 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I was like, I was watching a bunch of videos, and then there was this one video I just felt like I couldn't watch. And then I searched, how do you find your passion, or how do you niche when you have multiple passions? And there was just some video about a guy talking about, if you're multi-creative, I mean, maybe you need to sacrifice this here and there. And I'm like, nah, mm-mm. No, there's a way. There's a way. And then I was like, wait a second. Why don't I just make a hub for people to just share everything?
right
Just there's no limits. If you carve tables, share it with us. You know
right
what I
dude,
mean?
I would
Like,
love that. I would love seeing someone do like woodwork. That kind of stuff is
and that's
amazing.
what I have a channel for that. I have a channel for blacksmithing. I have like
Awesome.
it's
I will
that's
definitely join your Discord after this, and
yeah, dude, share your music, share
and we'll
whatever
connect there.
your YouTube videos. I encourage everybody to share their stuff because I
Yeah,
want people to find other people to collaborate that have the same mind. It
right,
doesn't need to be the same mind as mine, but if you have the same mission, you're in the right spot.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Joel, thank you for the kind words. And Gimpy J, yes, I have a camera in your kitchen, and I know what you're doing right now. So keep your hands on the counter, buddy. Swamp Donkey and Lansby, how's it going, guys? So yeah, man. I mean, I think we're on the same page, really. Okay, so let's talk about mindset then, because one other thing that you talk about in some of your videos is kind of mindset overall, and you said you also struggled with like some physical issues. That kind of stuff is really difficult mentally too, right? Obviously, as I think many can sympathize in the chat. So, do you do anything for kind of like mental health and keeping yourself in a good, like,
I could
cheery?
I could do much better. I definitely could do much better. I get into these states sometimes, man, where I just crash. You know what I mean? But I don't take it out on anybody. But
Right.
sometimes those are the most beautiful moments because I get so deep and critical of myself that I literally do realize a weakness, and I'm like, I need to work on this. And then I go forward with that. And then just at the end of the day, as long as tomorrow I'm a better person than I was today, then we're doing it right.
Right. And do you find that that comes from, so like the times you feel down, do you find that that's because of something external, like maybe you had a bad stream, or
It's
uh,
exactly what you were talking about in your video, is
right,
that I just feel like, why do I have what at one point I remember I was saying to myself, why do I have 65 subscribers and 3 viewers?
right,
Is this all pity? Like, why does this happen? You know what I mean? Am I not entertaining? Like, what's the point? Why am I even here? Why did
right,
I schedule 8 hours? And these are just 8 hours that I could be recording a video, I could be making a song, I could be just networking, I could be watching somebody else's stream that actually has viewers. And I mean, I don't mean to discount those three, you know what I mean? But it's just, again, I want to be realistic. I want to grow my brand, and I don't feel like I'm growing my brand for 3 lurkers.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean that's frustrating, and some of it takes time, and but a part of it as well is being very critical about how you're doing things. Right? It's not doing things for the sake of doing things. And thank you for the 100 bits, Mose. I appreciate it. So it's. I think you said something when you started. You were doing like crazy hours on Twitch, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and
48
I
hour
think
streams, 52.
right, and I
Crazy.
think one thing that I realized is there's like diminishing returns when it comes to the hours you put on Twitch when it comes to growing. And I think in fact it makes a lot of sense if you have limited time, maybe you're working another job or you have something else going on. It makes a lot of sense to take it back a little and allow yourself to have some extra time to whether it is to think about your content and polish it more. You said, oh, maybe I need to work on my commentary or on my flow, and take some time out for that, right? Because if you don't, when are you gonna get better at those things? If you don't set the time aside to to improve or to work on different things, that's not just gonna happen automatically. Because if we just keep doing things in the same way, if you just stream every day in the same way, right, doing the same thing, uh, sure, some people will tag along and they will enjoy it, but
For how long?
you're you're not gonna evolve as much, right?
Exactly.
But if on the flip side you say, okay, look, I'm gonna do 3 days a week, which is what I've gone to now. I'm doing 3 days a week, and maybe I give myself 2 days in the week where I either do like YouTube or other content, or maybe I just think about the content. Maybe I go back to a VOD and kind of analyze it and find different things I can do better and set time aside to do those things. I definitely notice an evolution. Like just looking at
Oh yeah.
myself very critically in the beginning.
Not even with content, but as yourself as a
Yeah,
person, you
like
become
your
more
your
conscious of
attitude, your
what.
confidence, yeah, how deliberate you are about how you sound and what you want to convey to people. So it's really important, man, to allow yourself the time to reflect on how you're doing things. Not just like, is your description good in I heard that.
Yeah, she wants to go
the
outside.
the cat, yeah. Not just the practical stuff like are you doing the description well on YouTube or like you're getting the SEO and all of that. Give
Sorry,
give us a little
come on.
kitty cam. Aw, so furry. Oh man.
She drools a lot.
Holland says this is the best Twitch conversation I've ever seen. My dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
dude.
it's some
Awesome.
real shit for sure. And thank you, Mose, for the extra 100 bits, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Mosele.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying the conversation. It means a lot. This has been one of the big things that I've noticed. Like, I want to do more of this. Is having conversations with different people, like yourself. I've done a few of these now already, and it really expands my perspective on things, man. So I really appreciate you coming on
Yeah, no,
and
I mean, I
giving
appreciate
me
you
your
inviting
take.
me
Yeah,
because this is something I've wanted to do, but I never knew how to implement it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't know who to bring on because that's the thing is like even the people you collaborate with, like if you're sitting with this one game constantly for months or years, like
yeah,
as soon as you stop playing that game, it's like you don't exist to them anymore. And it's like, man, like don't you remember like all these things we've done in the past? I'm still the same person. Like we're
yeah.
friends. But I mean, it's a very self-critical. Like I don't recommend content creation to everybody. I really don't. But at least
Right.
in the sense of YouTube and like trying to like mass and like make it big or anything, I don't recommend it. If
Yeah.
if you've gotta if you gotta if you can't take some harsh words, if you don't have thick skin, it's probably not for you. But if you feel like you can take that, like because it's good to seek that, and it's like Devin Nash said about the 3-star reviews and the 5-star reviews, the 1-star reviews. You don't read the 5 and the 1-star reviews. You read the 3-star reviews because that person has used it and then he's critiqued it. He's listing the good, he's listing the bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when it comes down to it, um, the 3-star reviews are what you're looking for. So I like to go to the people in my community that are very, very blunt, because that's the way that I am. Somebody says, hey to me, hey, like, hey, could you watch this video? And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I watch the video, and they're like, what did you think? And I'm like, do you really want to ask me that? You know what I mean? Because I'll tell them the good stuff, but I'll also tell them, like, hey, here's what I think you could improve. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that I'm a god tier video producer. No, God, by no means am I
Yeah.
any bit like amazing at making videos, but like I understand what needs to be done to actually make it. I just refuse to niche, and I refuse to just follow the same old path, because I think you make a bigger statement when you go against the mold and it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a balance there to be found. You can find a niche that's a couple things, you know, like it could be like kind of mindset videos with some other type of advice video. You know, it could be like 2 or 3 things you niche on. It doesn't have to be one specific thing. Mose, thank you for the bits, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. As someone redeemed a Basil appearance, so that's why I was kind of getting the cat here. So
I gave Nala some catnip since you gave
look,
Basil some catnip.
exactly, it was a catnip treat. You know it. Look at
It's a
that,
catnip
Basil.
party.
It's another cat, buddy.
It's Catterday, yo.
It's Catterday. Very good. Yeah, I think there's a balance. Like, you know, like I said, probably if you find like 2 or 3 things mainly that you're gonna do on the channel, that's good. And then also, I'm always looking for like discovery videos on YouTube, and what that means is like videos that tackle a topic that is heavily searched, but there isn't a lot of results for. So, you know, you
Yeah.
don't have a lot of the big channels covering that particular topic, and it's being searched for quite heavily. That's what I look for like discovery videos. So like what I did with imposter syndrome was kind of like that. And so that helps for sure. And learning how to maybe, you know, optimize, you know, if you're going to spend your time doing a video, right?
When it comes to
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think one of the most unique videos I've done was walking through a grocery store wearing a BMO onesie. But you know what I mean? And then the multi-creative one, there's like nothing when it comes to that. And that's why I made that video. It's like, because this is a call to action. I can be one of the first to be like, hey, come on down. Don't be afraid to just share what you got, because there's at least one person in my community that's going to enjoy it. And if
Yeah.
we keep bringing other people that we know that like to make art in here, you're going to find other people that maybe you can bounce ideas off of. You know what I mean? And if it
Yeah.
comes down to like digital content, you can collaborate with them.
Yeah. Joel, thank you for the bits, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think you're onto something, man. The idea of, you know, creating a platform. I mean, however small, because it starts off small, right? And then you grow it over time. But even if you give that one person, like looking back at myself when I was making my music and
Can't go on the desk.
yeah.
And on the keyboard.
And you know, when I had nobody to share it with, it would have meant the world if I had even one person willing to listen to it and kind of appreciate it, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, in my mind, you know, what you said really connects with what I'm trying to do as well. You know, if I can provide a platform where even one person engages with something that someone shares, that's a powerful thing already, man, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing, is like each time you come up with, like, that's why I like doing the variety, is because like I've covered spirituality, and like I have 2 videos about that, and
Right.
I don't think they even have over 20 or 30 views, but I've gotten like 5 or 6 messages from different people telling me, hey, that video made me completely change my perspective on like this intuition that I had. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, don't be afraid to just like get into meditation. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
be afraid to be spiritual. You don't have to be religious. I'm personally agnostic, but I'm very spiritual. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've got stones around my desk to make sure that I have the right energy on me. And what kind of stones are they? I don't know. It's just it felt like the right stone to have. And it's just my
Okay.
intuition. I take the calling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just kind of do what makes me happy. Maybe I'll never ever make it to that 500 viewer point on Twitch. Maybe I'll never make it to 1,000 subs on YouTube. But at the end of the day, I might have changed some people's lives
Yeah,
way for the better.
and even if you serve to connect maybe a few people, you know, that's not nothing, man. That's powerful
Yeah, I've
stuff.
made great
Yeah.
friends, even if they don't watch my stream. Like it doesn't. That's the thing is like there's people who I've met years ago that I haven't seen in my stream in like a year or two. I haven't seen them in a YouTube comment. Haven't nothing. But we still stay in contact because we've made a great connection. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
It's not
Yep.
always about you need to watch my content. You
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. And there's
But
no like
that's
guilt tripping if someone stops watching, because life moves, right? So if
exactly.
somebody might just not want to watch that kind of thing anymore, but they still kind of appreciate you. So that's totally fine. And I would never uh, like guilt trip anyone there. Mosley is having a bit wars, a bit of a bit war with Joel. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you, thank you. And I appreciate the kind words. Really, it means a great deal. So, okay, man. As we wrap up, is there what? Okay, here's my final question. You ready? It's a big one.
I guess.
What impact do you want to have on the world?
I actually have a overkill goal, and then I have that standard goal. The standard goal is to just reach out to as many people as I can to make sure that they do open up and they're not afraid to say how they feel, because that's what eats people up, is because they're afraid to speak up against something and they just sit there with these thoughts in their mind and it never comes out. They have no way of putting it on paper, they have no way of expressing themselves, and it's sad. And then like if I got super rich, like dumb rich, billionaire rich, I would probably buy out half of the United States Senate and Congress and make sure that this country wasn't corrupt anymore. But other than that, like that's just, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But a man can dream.
I think that's a beautiful mission, a beautiful message, man, and one that I really sympathize with. So I'm very glad we connected on Twitter. I'll be in your Discord, and you're welcome to join ours as well. And we'll,
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll be
exclamation
in
Discord in the
touch.
chat, right?
Yep, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. Everybody can go and check you out. Let me post that again here on Twitter, and then from there you can go to his YouTube and all the other different parts of the internet he's in. And thank you for the follow, Seist Gamey. I appreciate it, guys. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. I
Thanks for
appreciate your
having me,
time
man.
today. We'll have another conversation sometime if you like, and
Yeah,
we'll see you
definitely.
next time.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.
Peace out.